What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to another episode of the Smark Moment Smack Talk podcast. I am Tony Mango, your host as always, and joining me, your other hosts as always, Robert DeFelice.
Hey.
And Callum Wiggins.
You guys still here?
We are still here. We are doing our second part of our WWE tier lists. We took care of the women's division breakdown a few minutes ago, technically speaking, when we were recording this at the very least, but you guys checked it out yesterday. Today it's Thursday when this is being uploaded, and now we're going to run through the men's roster and break down from the S tier down to the F tier, the drizzling shits category, and tossing out some no opinions as well, and all the stuff that we do with all the other things. You guys pretty much know how it works by now, so I don't need to break everything down. If you don't know, there's other tier lists either here or on the Review to a Kill podcast over on the Fanboys Anonymous YouTube channel. So you've got plenty of homework if you didn't do that, but it's also self-explanatory too. I don't think we need to get too deep into that. Just a reminder though, before we get started, make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that already. Ring that little notification bell as well. Hit the like button because that'll help us boost up the SEO for this and offset that absolutely terrible YouTube algorithm. And if you want to pass this along to somebody who you think might be interested in checking it out, you can hit that handy dandy share button. As far as the monetary side of things go, there's the little thanks button. There's the join button, which is the same thing as the Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/smarkoutmoment, you can see a bunch of different tiers there that are not the tier list things, but they are tiers as far as like, options for you to be able to sponsor towards, like the Darkcast that you can get access to, or the Pick Your Poison tier where you can request things. And then, of course, there's TeePublic and Redbubble if you want to pick up some merchandise options. Those are options for you to toss a little bit of your spare change our way and, open up the wallet to not only help support this channel and our growth for the channel, but also help me offset my my wedding costs, because that's just ranking higher and higher and higher. It's amazing. You get a little bit of extra stuff on a cake and it's $130 more than you thought that it would be, just for the simplest things. I like coconut. What do I say? But we are doing the men's roster here, and we're going to kind of speed through this a little bit compared to what we had done for the women's roster, because we realized that we kind of went a little long on that one, and there are way more of the men. So forgive us for some of the speed round types of things, but I think that we should get things started with a speed round of no opinions, just to get as many people as we can out of the way that we have no opinion about right now for one way or another. Maybe they just haven't wrestled much. Maybe we haven't seen enough of what they've done, whatever it might be. I'm going to start moving some names, but toss out some names if you agree or disagree. Hachimon was the first thing that I noticed, so I'm just going to put him on there. He hasn't wrestled yet, so.
Yeah.
I don't think that any of these, of course, should be on the no opinion. So we're looking mostly here.
We're fine, yeah. Let's have a look. So I would say Bailey Matthews.
Bailey Matthews is definitely like that. Let's see.
Why's Fabian Eichner in NXT UK?
He should be in NXT. Yeah. That's right. Levi Muir, we haven't seen almost anything of.
Lewis Howley? Is he? Oh, yeah, he's one of the tag champs. Yeah, I forgot who. Because I only know of them I only know that it's pretty deadly. So, Rohan Raja.
He's with Teoman. I wouldn't put him very high.
Both Teoman and Rohan Raja, I don't feel comfortable enough ranking yet, because I can't tell you much about them. I hate Teoman's character. I'll tell you that. God knows so many times we need to hear. I did it for my family.
Diesel doesn't.
Sam Stoker.
Nope, the other champion.
He's
fucking hell.
Howley is pretty and Stoker's deadly, I guess. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I don't know any of those.
I would put Joe Gacy in there. I still don't even know if he's a heel or a face.
Josh
Briggs.
Yeah.
Briggs, yeah. Julius and Brutus Creed.
Yeah, they've
only wrestled last night.
I liked it.
Zion Quinn, we haven't seen almost anything of.
Top Dollar. I mean, we've seen a bit of the tag team stuff, but I haven't seen it.
Not as hot than Top Dollar.
I'd be comfortable ranking Top Dollar right now, but if you guys are no opinion, I'm okay with putting him in no opinion, because it hasn't been much that we've seen. So There's still room for growth. No opinion about Trey Baxter right now for me.
Yeah, I'd probably put that. Like, you'd have to be watching a lot of 205 Live, really. Saurav Gurja, I think, is a little bit like, we've only seen him in like a tag team setting, really. Like, if we were to put, do you feel like, because if we are going to rank him, he's going to go in F or A.
But at some point you got to go, well, this dude had like 3 shots at doing something.
Yeah, put him in F, actually. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's bad. I'd put him in the no opinion right now, but and we don't have some people on this list, for anybody that's wondering, like Guru Raj. I didn't put any of the strictly performance center, has no home on the roster type of people. So, we don't see that. We don't have like Matrick Belton on there, or we haven't seen anything of, or, whatever.
Look at some other ones. Andre Chase?
Yeah, no opinions about him yet. Can't tell you anything about him really for the most part.
Hudson, I'd probably put in that sort of category. Yeah, I know we've had a few matches, but like, I still don't have a strong opinion one way or the other.
Yeah, he's got an upside to him. I think he can be somebody, but
Grayson Waller.
Grayson Waller, I put in the no opinion right now too. Yeah. I've seen enough of him that I could rank him, but yeah.
Are we ranking Jiro?
I'd go no opinion for him too right now too.
Yeah.
Even though I've seen like 10 of his matches, I still feel like it's way too early.
I want to see him fucking win a match. He looks. I'm surprised he hasn't won anything yet. But yeah.
He's won on 205 Live, but that barely counts.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe if you take off the button down, he'd win a match.
I kind of go maybe Commander Aziz. No opinion.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
The only opinion we have on him is he's big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people aren't, but it's a stupid running gag.
I'd say there's an argument for no opinion for Boa.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I have no opinion.
Not bad, not a great. Just sort of, he's finding his way.
Yeah, I don't have enough like ammunition to say whether he goes on one side or the other yet.
I don't have an opinion about, actually, now that I said like no about whatever, I don't have much for Shanky.
Well, you've seen more of Veer, obviously, so yeah.
I don't really have much on Veer either.
Well,
but if you guys,
I've seen enough.
We gotta rank at least these dudes.
Yeah.
They've been on TV.
I've seen enough of them on Raw to say that they're probably both E's, or maybe even one of Shanky might even be an F. But
at least put them in there for now. Maybe we put them in F. I don't know. I don't think that they're bad, but I don't have much of an opinion.
I'm trying to think like how many of these people are like bad at this point, and we'll get to it, but like they might end up seeing it.
Shane Thorne's better than Slapjack, but Slapjack, what the fuck, man?
Just put him
I'd say were you saying that because you don't know everybody's opinion or not?
Yeah, just because it's like we don't Slapjack. What we've seen of him is the shits.
I've seen enough of Shane Thorne to say that he's no higher than a D.
And Slapjack is the shit, so I think that balances out at an E.
Makes sense. Now we will start establishing some benchmarks when it comes to these, but we figured we would just,
this is
no
so
opinions.
Much different than the women, though. Like,
there's such a wider variety of everything too.
What about I'm just looking more for like some opinions on Nathan Fraser.
I've seen enough of him to say D.
Okay, like that's again, it's just my lack of knowledge probably of the things. I think if one of us has a strong enough opinion to put him somewhere, we might as well.
Nathan Fraser, I kind of want to put him in C, but he's got no character.
Yeah, that's why I said D.
So, I think when we start to see the sort of people we're putting in C, you will eventually move him into D.
Probably. I think I'd go E for Jack Stars.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough of him. A lot of the NXT UK people will be like ones where I'm basically going on you guys' word.
Webster and Andrews in D.
Yeah, I can see that. They're kind of on par with the idea of like.
It's a bit harsh.
I don't think there's too much to them.
I really liked them when they were. Well, I know she now still attacked.
Well, I mean, like they're good, but where do we put? I feel like they're kind of in the same range as how we put Luna in E, though.
Yeah. Danny Luna,
okay.
we put around that.
Riddick Moss, E.
Where even is Riddick Moss on here?
He's on Raw.
He had some upsides, but he's been doing jack shit. So let's put him with Jack Stars.
Okay, well, if we're sticking to some people on the bad side at the moment, for a controversial one, I want to put Dominic Mysterio in D or A.
Dominic in D. D for Dominic.
Yeah, I'd almost lean towards Z. I don't know. He might move. I'm gonna put him in italics.
I'll put it this way: do you think he's a better wrestler than Flash and Mark Andrews?
Not at all.
Not. Okay, E. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. He's gonna move that quickly then. Yeah. The kid's got some time to learn some things, but he isn't at that level yet. This is for the September 2021. We're not ranking this based off of anything other than 5:00 on Wednesday, the 8th of September.
All right. I just want to try and establish this a little bit because I know you set some more benchmarks and stuff like that. But who do we actually consider as being F?
F?
Yeah, who do we consider to be the actual drizzling shits? Because I'm trying to think of what is the justification that Veer and Shanky are on in there.
Titus O'Neil's been there for 11 years.
I could see Titus being an F. He's never been good.
No, hold on. I like Titus O'Neil as a person, as everything, but like this dude's been here for 11 years.
Better than Veer and Shanky.
Is he?
Yes, he is.
He's had all this time.
Fine. So put him in.
No, I'm saying if you're putting him in F, then Veer and Shanky go in F, and I'm not going to argue against.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that then.
You give me that one.
I'll give you that one.
Yeah. And you can add I'm trying to see who else I would add to F onto there.
I could add a couple more E's. I would put Amir Jordan, Ashton Smith, and Oliver Carter in E.
Sure.
I would also put...
They're good hands, but yeah, nothing special.
I would also put Primate and potentially... I don't know, but is Wild Boar even on the fucking roster?
I think they... Didn't they eat him? Like that?
Let's just take him off, because I don't even know... Yeah. I don't even know if he's a part of it. I think that he's a part of it, but he's been like injured. I don't even know. It really doesn't matter. I'd put him on there. I'd put Shaw Samuels under E. I'd put a lot of people in NXT UK under here, to be honest. I'd put Eddie Dennis under E.
Eddie Dennis is better than that.
I'm not impressed at all with a lot of that roster for the most part. There are some people that are way higher, but
I'd say Eddie Dennis is a D.
As far as these guys go, where do you guys think?
I'd put Dennis in a D. And
the others I'm fine with, but I mean, Shaw Samuels, there's an argument, but I'm not strong enough and not willing enough to make that argument.
Noam Dar is a D.
I'd put him at least C. Oh, no, I'd put him in C. Not at least C. I'd put him in C.
D.
2 votes for D.
He's dropped significantly recently, in my opinion.
You want to just knock out the rest of NXT UK?
Yeah.
As well.
Really A-Kids, D or A?
D.
I'm going to put him over here and put him over here.
A-Kid's good enough to have a 30-minute Iron Man, so he's D.
Yeah, I'd say so.
D for Dave Mastiff? He's really not been doing shit.
No.
I'd still put him in D, because he's not like...
I could attribute it to one thing more than anything else. They're not calling him Massive Dave Mastiff. They should.
Yeah. Ilya Dragunov is at least a B. I could even argue.
Yeah.
I could B. Dragunov's one of the absolute best ones on that roster. That's for sure.
I like Coffee. Joe Coffee in particular. I think he's
more of a hot chocolate kind of guy.
Shut up.
We don't have time for this, Tyler.
Yes, we do. We always have time for a pun like that.
Yeah. I'd say Joe Coffey is either a B or a C, whereas Mark and Wolfgang are lower than that.
Without a doubt. Here's how I would kind of rank them. Not necessarily these kind of things, but I would rank them like there's a distinctive level between kind of the bunch. Mm-hmm. So if, for instance, if we were to put Joe Coffey in C, I'd have to put these two in E, and I don't feel as comfortable in that. I'd probably put them in D. But I'd even potentially put them in E. Kind of all depends.
Well, the way that I would look at that one is that I would put Joe Coffey in either B or C, Mark Coffey in D, Wolfgang in E.
Yeah. So Joe Coffey.
What do you think? Do you think he's C or B? Because I think he's not as good as Dragunov.
I don't think he's as good as Dragunov.
But I don't know whether it's.
But he's not far off from Dragunov.
No, but
like I wouldn't put Dragunov as an A. I'd put him at a B, maybe a B plus. Coffee, he would be a B minus or a C.
I'll say put him in B for now.
And where were you leaning, Rob?
I'd put him in B.
Let's put him in B then. And then
Mark Coffey goes D, and then Wolfgang goes in E, because I just don't get it with Wolfgang.
Wasn't he like one of the original 7?
Yeah, he was signed before even like he might have even been signed before like Pete Dunn.
He was part of the original. Yeah, he was in the semi-final of the
like he was like one of the original major players.
Yeah, but he's it's not that good now. Jordan Devlin C.
Yeah,
he's good.
Yeah.
Very good. But like, I think he's. But I think it was all going to find out as we go through the rest of the roster. A lot of people are good, but it's just a case of which ones really stand out a little bit more. Joseph Connors D, maybe C, probably D.
I'd go. I'd even potentially go E, but D at the highest for Connors.
I put Connors in E, and I put Williams in D.
Yeah, I think I'd lean more towards that. I like Williams more than Connors.
Pretty deadly, because they got to go in the same spot. Because, as Calvin has said, they're interchangeable.
I haven't seen much of them to really to blow me away.
They got charisma. I'd put them in D.
For who?
For
Pretty
tag champs.
Pretty deadly? In D, you said?
Yeah.
I don't have a strong enough argument to push him either way. So
yeah, I don't have too strong of an opinion. I'd put maybe Gradwell in D. I've liked more of his work recently.
Sure.
I'd rather watch Gradwell match than Connors, I think.
Saxon Huxley, he's the Bruiser Brody looking guy, right?
He's the one that rambles. He's, better luck next time, better luck next time, better luck next time kind of thing. I don't know, maybe E. He's certainly not an F, but I don't know if I'd put him in D. Nah, I wouldn't. I'd put him in E.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. Tyson T-Bone?
E.
Is he an E or...
I couldn't tell you who he was.
Rampage Brown. I think Rampage is a C. I like C. I like Rampage.
I'll put him in C.
I'll put him in C.
I think he's got good work for a big guy. I really liked his match with Joe Coffey recently.
To me, here we've got Mustache Mountain, Trent Seven, Tyler Bate, and Walter. That's 2 B's and an A. And Walter's obviously
that's one. To me, that's one C, 1 B, 1 S.
I'm all right with putting Walter in S.
I can't put Walter in S. I got to put him in A.
If it was my company, what would be S?
I'd go A. We're going to end up having some major people in S.
Yeah, and I think Walter's better than all of them, pretty much.
There's an argument to be made there.
Just from a pure in-ring perspective, who's better than Walter? How many people would you say are better than Walter?
I think the goal of the S is to have as little of them as possible.
Yeah.
That's why
I'm not going to say... I've got Walter and probably about 5 other people.
And that's why of an entire brand of people, some of whom are in the no opinion category, he's the sole S.
I mean, if it's 2 votes, you guys outrank me for it. I lean towards A, but...
I mean, he might move, but at the moment, I'd put him as S. Well, I'll put it this way. I think I know someone that you're going to chest for maybe potentially being S that I would probably can't knock down, but we'll talk about.
You're not going to go with Ivar? Come on.
No, he's not as good as... He's cuter than Eric, but... No. But Trent, I'd say C, just because of the age factor.
I'd go D for Trent.
No, he's so good to be.
He's too good, Tony.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
I
a better
haven't been
worker.
loving his stuff.
And B or A?
I could B for Bait.
At the moment, he's B, yeah.
Yeah. Because Bait, we've seen some good stuff with Bait, but he's not doing shit, really.
Well, yeah, he's stalled too much.
All right, I want to knock out this real quick. Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza are D. I can listen to C, not farther than that.
I kind of want to put a pin in them because they can't go higher. They can't go B. They're either C or D, but I'd lean towards C for them because I do enjoy their tag work quite a bit.
I think they're good. So, but I just don't know. I don't know how I would position them in the company if it was getting mine and stuff like that. So at the moment, I'd probably lean towards the D side of things, but but they might move up depending on who we put there.
That's true for that.
I know we're putting people in the back end at the moment, but we haven't really gone to the people on the main show yet. So waiting. So I would be comfortable putting Ashanti D, Adonis. No, he's probably D. I think he's better than an E, maybe D.
Ashanti D, Adonis, huh?
I get it.
Were you guys leaning towards with Ashanti?
D.
Tony.
But B or D, I can't.
D is in dog.
D?
Yeah.
You guys aren't super high on him?
I just don't feel like I don't feel like he's a big star at the moment.
Yeah, I could see him being D, but I mean, yeah. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, because Jordan Devlin's better. Yeah, for using that as a range.
Austin Theory, I'm comfortable putting in C.
He's
got a lot of room to grow, but
he's
definitely showing a lot of potential.
I'd go so far as to put him in B, but I think he's like a C++. He's got a lot of potential.
He'll definitely go up there eventually, but he's not in my mind. If Ilya Dragunov is on a B, he can't be on the same level as Dragunov. Cameron Grimes is a B. Now he's a B at the very least.
Yeah,
I think he's too good to. He's as good a wrestler as a lot of other people in NXT, but he's got so much more character than a lot of them. So I'd put him in B.
That's 2 votes for B for Cameron Grimes?
Yep.
I'm good for that. Yeah.
Totally okay with that. Cameron Grimes is great. Been loving a lot of the things that he's been doing.
Carmelo Hayes.
Well, let's establish an A, because we haven't done that yet.
An A. Okay, let's put... let's stick to the NXT side of things for now. No, I'd say an A for that would be... Actually, is there an A in Samoa Joe?
Yeah.
Yep. He is not quite S tier at the moment, but he is certainly an A. I would say Tommaso Ciampa is an A as well.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay.
I think he's got... I think he's at a good level for that. I would also propose Johnny Gargano should be an A as well.
Yes.
I would lean towards S. I think that Gargano is one of my absolute favorite people. He's reached a point where he is just... I would rather see Gargano perform than anybody almost on this whole entire roster, including the Raw and SmackDown people.
But yeah, I mean that's the sort of argument that I made for Walter. So if you want to put him in S, I'm not going to argue against it.
All right.
Very cool with that.
But we'll see. But again, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Just a couple weeks ago, we would have had Adam Cole somewhere on this list. Isn't that kind of crazy? We would have had Daniel Bryan somewhere on this list. That was a fucking... Oh, man. That's one of the reasons why we decided to do this right now. Is because it's just like, this roster thing's fucking crazy.
So looking at some more. I'd say Santos Escobar is a B.
Yeah. He's a solid B. He's fucking great.
Yeah, very good. I put Timothy Thatcher on that level as well. Maybe Timothy Thatcher's either B or C. Can't be lower than that.
I think I lean a little bit more towards C. I do think he's better than Trent Seven, and I think I definitely would rank him higher than Seven and Brown. But I don't know if I'd go so far as to say that he's on par with Dragon. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe he is. I don't know. Where are you leaning, Rob?
I would say C.
The high end of C, probably, yeah. I might end up moving him, but we'll see. Look at all these other NXT people. Tag champs, Nash and Wes.
C.
Yeah, I think C as well.
for MSK.
Yeah, MSK. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they're good. They're very good.
They're fun. They don't have super duper great personalities. They're kind of just like, fun loving sort of guys.
Potheads, yeah.
But yeah, they're pretty much potheads. But
I would say Zach Gibson is a high C, and Drake is a D.
Wait. I'm blanking on this. I'm having a Callum moment for that. You said Drake for a D?
Maybe.
And Gibson for, what was it?
High C.
I see. Is it Fruit Punch or?
I knew you were gonna make that joke.
I think Drake is a good enough wrestler, but he wouldn't work on his own.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, and Gibson, if he wasn't in a tag team, he would still be kind of doing his thing. I agree with that. Where do we go with Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch?
I think they're both. I think Oni's a C, and I think Danny's a.
That's
what
I was thinking. Yep.
It's harsh as well because I like Danny, but like, I just don't feel like
same logic for Drake.
I feel Oni is the one with more personality out of the two of them, and he's had like some really really good singles matches.
I enjoy watching an Oni Lorcan match a little bit more because he's always just like, nah! And shit. Like,
yeah, he's fucking crazy, yeah.
He's fucking great.
Dexter,
if we're going
Dexter.
Okay, let's go with Dexter. Let me see brought him up.
Yeah, because he's gone better. It's weird.
I'd go see.
I certainly don't. I feel bad because I feel like there are better wrestlers on the D side than him, but he does have size and he does have a weird character, but it is character.
It's weird. Like like I would rather see if you just have like two people go out and have a wrestling match. I'd rather see like Nathan Fraser than Dexter Lumis. But even just like the weird shtick with the way and all that, there's something more to Lumis, and I think he's got a little bit more potential to like break out in a different way.
You wanted to talk about the tag team, didn't you?
Yeah, I was gonna say if we were sticking with the tag team thing, where do we go with Eichner and Bartel?
I think they're both on the same level. I think they both have enough character, and they're both good enough wrestlers, so I think they should both be in C.
Good, I was thinking C too.
Yep,
I've been a fan of them pretty much ever since the beginning. I think Marcel Barthel's got a little bit more character. Eichner's a little bit crisper in the ring.
Yeah, I'd go along with that, but yeah, I think that they're both on the same level. Let's see, Pete Dunne, he's an A or a B.
Oh, that's tough. Pete Dunne.
I think he's exceeded Tyler Bate, so my argument would be A.
I think I'd lean a little bit more towards A too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I'd rather overall I would trust Pete Dunne. Well, I would definitely trust Pete Dunne in a match more than Joe Coffey. Let's put it that way. And Pete Dunne's a better wrestler overall than Cameron Grimes.
Cameron
Grimes. To the dude.
Kushida's at least a B. He's just too good in the ring.
I can see him being a B. I was leaning a little bit more towards C.
I think he's one of the best wrestlers on the roster. He just obviously isn't positioned high enough. But yeah, I wouldn't budge from a B as the low point for him. I certainly wouldn't put him in A, but yeah, I think B is the right fit for him. I think that's also weird enough the right fit for Kyle O'Reilly as well.
B for Kyle O'Reilly? I can see that.
I don't like this cool Kyle character, so.
He's not winning me over as the lead in an indie rom-com.
Yeah, I feel like he should have. I think they made a mistake by not making him champion.
I think he should have beaten Karrion Kross.
Yeah, I think they've and he's going to have a bit of an issue recovering from that. But yeah, see, let's got interesting names left.
Where we go with Carmelo Hayes because he's kind of an oddball.
C
at the moment, yeah.
Yep,
I think he's good.
I'd go so far as to say Odyssey Jones is the C as well.
It's a little bit less of a body of work to work with at the moment. He's definitely got tons of character, so that's to his positive. And obviously he's got good size and good movement for his size. I just don't know whether I mean,
maybe even potentially no opinion.
Yeah, I don't have a strong enough opinion to put him anywhere yet.
I'm cool with that. I've liked what I've seen from him. It's not like I'm putting him in the A tier or anything, but I think he's got a lot of upside to him.
I would certainly I think that from the small sample size I've seen, that there is definitely positives there, but it's just too small of a sample size at the moment. It's like 3 matches. So.
Good theme too. Not that that's affecting anything. Out of these, Swerve Scott.
B.
Yep.
Very good recently.
I would have leaned more towards C, but if you got 2 votes for B, then
I think he's gotten a lot better recently. So
C for Rich Holland.
D, maybe C. I think he's actually pretty decent in the ring. So actually, maybe lean more to a C. Yeah.
He's got some upside to him. I think that he can go kind of far.
Strangely enough, I'm going to put LA. I would argue like LA Knight to C as well.
Maybe a B.
Not good enough in the ring for me. Great mic work, great talker, but I'd tell you like out of the two, like I wouldn't put him on the same level as Cameron Grimes. I think Cameron Grimes is better than him out of that feud. I like the people that in B more.
B or C, Rob? You're the deciding factor.
C.
2 for C. I really like Drake Maverick. I can't put him in like an A tier, obviously, but I really like the guy. I think he's just so entertaining. I think he's underrated in a lot of aspects. I would love to put him in B, but I think that he kind of has to go C.
D. It's not. Yeah. Not. I don't think he's good enough worker. He's got a great personality, but he's too low on the pecking order. And if it was my company, I wouldn't push him. He would be a manager.
Yeah, I'd probably have him as a manager role. I mean, if I had a cruiserweight division, I don't think I would have a cruiserweight division. But if I did, he'd be in that division.
Oh yeah, I'd be fine with that. But that's kind of like I wouldn't put him in C and have like Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews sitting in D below him. So
where we stand on Roddy.
Roddy's an interesting one. He's so good in the ring, but the personality's always been the issue.
It's like in the ring, he's an A. Personality, he's like a D. So
we're looking at either a B or a C.
Right.
I would lean more towards a low B.
Yeah, I would put him in high C or low B. So I would say B.
So we're stuck. It's a low B or a high C. Damn. Oh, 'cause that's exactly what I was thinking. Fuck.
Well, I'm happy with B at the moment, based on who we got there at this point in time.
Should I do this? There we go. Where we're leaning more towards B.
I like him in B more at this point.
Let's go for it. Why not? Let's err on the side of being nicer with that.
Okay, he's probably dive straight into the main roster stuff now.
Since we knocked out these 2 rosters, we're kind of at the midway point, which means that I want to switch us over and just for a moment talk about our sponsors for this episode, Manscaped. They have been our sponsors for quite a bit of episodes over the past couple of months, and we're continuing this partnership with a brand new code because we are renewing that over. And now going forward, it's going to work exactly the same as it was before, where you're still going to get your 20% off and your free shipping on all your orders. But the code has changed over to Smark20. So you have to add that 2 and that 0 at the end of there to be able to get your deal. The deal is applicable to every single thing that they have on the website, whether it is, let me switch over this too. I always keep forgetting to do this lately with my current setup, where we've got this little handy dandy cycling through all these different products and stuff. You can see right now the Ultra Smooth package, because they have different packages that you can order if you want to get like a sampling variety of their different kind of stuff. Or, you can just order one individual thing. Maybe you want to pick up like the thing you can see on your screen right now, the We Save Balls, the little mat to be able to get all the shavings and not have to have that just all over the floor and clean that up differently. Maybe you want to get the travel kit. Maybe you are going to just pick up the Lawnmower 4.0 or the nose and ear trimmer, the weed whacker. I love the names for these things. But whatever it is, everything that's on the website, if you order it through the promo code of Smark20, you will get your 20% off and you'll get your free shipping. Take advantage of that. and order whatever it is that you're interested in picking it up. I'm sure that you're going to end up loving it, whether it's on the razor stuff or the grooming kit. We've tried everything, and we've been given it our seal of approval. And if you guys would say if there's one thing that you would recommend for people to pick up, what do you think that it would be?
The Weed Whacker. I think it's one of the best nose hair trimmers. I think it's quiet as a mouse, and it gets the job done.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the foot deodorant. I just feel like it's an area which often goes completely like underprotected, or just like you don't really appreciate as much, and nobody likes stinky feet. So I think it's a really good, just nice additional product which may be seen as like a bit of a sleeper one.
I'd go with the actual lawnmower 4.0 out of everything, but just to give a little bit of love to something that's not on the pictures that you can see right now, just for the sake of it, because it is comfortable as all hell. The t-shirt is one of my favorite t-shirts that I just wear around the house. So if you do want a comfortable t-shirt, consider picking up the one that's Manscaped. And of course, anything that you guys do when it comes to this is greatly appreciated. Thank you for helping out, letting Manscaped know that we sent you by using that promo code. And thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring this for us and for continuing this partnership going on. So in the meantime, while this still is going on, use the promo code SMARK20, get your discounts on here, and enjoy your products. Go back over here to the Raw and SmackDown rosters. Let's go with the Viking Raiders. We got Eric, we got Ivar. They're great as a tag team. If we were doing like a tier list of tag teams, they would be higher up than what they are individually.
Which I believe is both a solid C. I mean, there is this like argument that Ivar is a bit more dynamic in the ring, but I don't think it's enough to really differentiate him that much. I don't feel comfortable putting Eric in D. I think he's too good for that.
I think individually I'd almost rank them in D, but I kind of feel bad for it, so
I just feel they're a bit more. I think they could do stuff well as individuals. They would just need to, actually develop other characters other than Vikings. Let's see. We've got. See, it's interesting because there's some good people, but you just don't know where to position them. Mace and T-Bar might as well. T-Bar's obviously way better.
Yeah.
Mace.
I think T-Bar is better to a point that he should almost even be in a different tier.
Oh, no, absolutely he should be in a different tier. He should be... I think T-Bar is an argument for a low B, at the very least a C. Mace, I'd lean more towards even an E at this point.
I was thinking T-Bar B, Mace D. And the tag team becomes a C. Not that we're adding tag teams.
T-Bar C, Mace D.
Do you really think Mace is that good?
He's not a straight up jobber.
Who's better, Mace or Dominic Mysterio?
I think Mace.
Mace.
Just
okay.
Even because of his size, he works a different style. It's a little bit easier kind of deal.
Okay.
But T-Bar, we know that Dominik Dijakovic is so much better than what they're letting him do.
Yeah, I mean, I could be comfortable putting him in D for the time being.
When they decide to actually wake the fuck up and push that guy the way that they should, that's going to be so much better.
Let's have a look at some of these. I would like to put Jackson Riker in E, please.
Yeah, so nicely. I feel like you gotta give it to him.
I'm not seeing too much of a high mark for him.
He's now joining the 24/7 pack.
Yeah. So is Jeff Hardy. Apparently.
Jeff Hardy, yeah.
Well, where do we rank Jeff Hardy? Because Jeff Hardy, of course, he should not just be competing for the 24/7 championship and getting his ass kicked.
Jeff Hardy in 2021 is a C.
It's hard to argue against it. Maybe
yeah. I mean, I know he's got a huge nostalgia value, but I just don't feel like he can't wrestle the way that he used to anymore.
I think I'd feel a little bit bad if I didn't go at least B. Well, not at least, but like I think that little bit of a bump's like, all right, we're giving you a little bit of extra credit here. You're not Jeff Hardy lately. That's not entirely his fault, but
okay, we'll see how it looks in a little while, just to see whether we do end up dropping him down. Let's have a look. Akira Tozawa, D, maybe E, probably D.
I go D.
Yeah, D.
What about Reggie?
I would say I can't put an opinion because he's just a flip. He's just an acrobat. He's not a wrestler.
I think I'd go D. Like, he's fun flipping around, but
he can't wrestle.
We haven't seen like wrestling, yeah. And the character is like, what is this fucking character?
It was a guy that was pretending to be a sommelier to get a job, and now he's just Reggie, who's a TikTok specialist. He's only used to do these nice little clips that then go on TikTok for WWE.
I hate this gimmick that they're doing lately, where it's like
he specializes in TikTok. Oh well, okay, I fine.
He's actually like his segments with the 24/7 thing are actually some of the most entertaining stuff on Raw for me. But I want to give him no opinion because he's not a wrestler.
Yeah, he hasn't actually.
I know he holds a wrestling title, but he doesn't actually wrestle. Well, he does actually wrestle matches, but like, it's not like they're actual quote unquote wrestlling matches.
It's weird.
Women like.
I hate this whole gimmick though. I hate the idea that he's just sort of like, let me talk to the camera for a few seconds before we do this hokey bullshit. Some of it could be good, but some of it's just real bad. The dog stuff was terrible. Where do we go with Elias?
D.
Yeah, I could see that.
This isn't Elias anymore. You say E.
I say E. Fuck him.
E for Elias.
Honestly, I can't defend putting him in. I can't like Rob says E, and I immediately what really makes him a D instead, and I don't have an argument for it.
I could see that being the case too, because he doesn't have the best matches. His character's up in the air. They dropped it seems, with this whole like, now I'm not Elias, but I am Elias, but fuck off, I'm not going to do anything. Yeah, more potential than that, but it's not working out super well right now.
Okay, let's look at some more.
Let's try to go for another A. Bobby Lashley?
I mean, the argument is A or S, and I'd actually lean more towards the A. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, Lashley at this stage is he's an A.
Lashley.
Isn't
that weird how that just like stuck with her? Say it enough times, I guess. It's just
look at my ass. Ashley.
Let's go with Carrillo. D.
Oh.
Maybe
E. E. What the fuck is D?
Ooh, why am I doing that there? That's Elias.
You think E as well?
I think E, yeah. I forgot about the E tier. There's been nothing that has ever made me feel.
He's better than Dominic.
Well, but what has he done? Like, what upside has he shown?
I would rather watch a Humberto Carrillo match than a Dominic Mysterio match, but I'm not going to pay attention to a Humberto Carrillo match. A Dominic one, at least right now, he's in a range where I'm still going to pay attention to it.
Okay, fair enough.
If you combine the two, if Dominic was as capable in the ring as Humberto, then you'd get something. But,
Okay. I would like to make the proposal that we put Angelo Dawkins in C and Montez Ford in B.
I fully agree with this proposal, and I give it my stamp of approval.
I agree.
I like Angelo. I think that he's underrated just because he's in the team with Montez Ford.
Makes him look worse in comparison because of how much Tez is like a standout. Yeah.
Tez is just out here like turning in the middle of frog splashes and
yeah. Are there any other formal proposals to bring to the conference table?
I mean, I'll let you guys go for it as well, but I'm just thought I'd add a bit of decorum into this proceeding.
Well, I mean, Gable C.
I'm just thinking of the Simpsons thing. If I sentenced you to kiss my ass.
Gable C, Otis D.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Because Otis would have been a C before, but he's fallen.
Yeah, fallen down significantly. Yeah.
I mean, maybe I could see him being a C.
Yeah, but like my argument would be like if I moved Otis into a C, I'd probably argue to move Gable into a B just because we know how good he could be, but right now he's just not positioned that well.
My argument for moving Otis over to a C is we currently don't have as many C's as we have D's.
There's still many names to go. We'll see once it's like gone through because there's a lot of people here that are kind of middle of the road. Case in point, I would put Mansoor into C.
I'd put Mansoor in C as well.
Well, whereas Mustafa Ali is a B.
Is a B.
He is a B.
He's really good. Really good.
Jinder Mahal is a C.
No, D.
He's tough.
He's been...
I don't care if he's been WWE champion, he sucks.
Here's where I want to kind of... I
can't put him under Mansoor, though.
Where do you guys go with Lucha House Party? Because I would go towards D.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen some good stuff, but...
I mean, this is something that we always get contentious about because I think Gran Metalik is better than Lince Dorado, and you think that Lince Dorado is better than Gran Metalik.
Who the hell thinks Lince Dorado is better than Gran Metalik?
Tony does.
I do.
Why?
I've liked more of his stuff.
I'm sorry, you're wrong.
But like,
the thing is with Jinder Mahal is that in terms of his actual wrestling ability, I put him on par with someone like Jackson Riker or Elias. He's got more personality than them, which is why I would say put him up to a D. But you definitely can't go C. Look at the names we've got in C.
That's goddamn. Jinder Mahal is a tough one. Because Jinder Mahal is not as good as Timothy Thatcher. He's not as good as Imperium. He's not as good as LA Knight is in a lot of different ways. Austin Theory, I'd rather watch. But then it's like he has a little bit more character or whatever. I don't know if he's kind of D+, he's kind of C-. Oh, man, that's fucking tough.
You're being very generous with the D+, C-. He's D-. Like he's significantly worse a wrestler than LA Knight, and LA Knight's got twice the personality that he has.
Who are you saying is better than LA Knight?
No one's better than it. No, those people are better than LA Knight because you can see it at the moment. But I would say that Jinder Mahal is worse in the ring than LA Knight and has much less personality.
I would agree with both of those statements, yes.
So he can't be on the same tier as him. So he has to be at least D.
It's a shame.
If that's the case, I think that Luchas definitely would go into D then.
I think I mean...
No, I wouldn't say they're E. They're too good in the ring to be E. I know that the argument of like Humberto Carrillo's there and stuff like that, but I think they're better than Carrillo.
All right, let's get a juicy one out of the way. Karrion Kross.
C.
Ooh, yeah. C.
And I would have said that before this fucking gimmick took over. As well.
I would have said D, but okay, boys.
And you think D?
He blows.
I can hear an argument today.
He blows. Like right now, he is just another guy on the main roster. He might as well be Jinder Mahal.
He's got less character than Jinder too. That's kind of.
Yeah, he does, but he's slightly better in the ring than Jinder. Like he hasn't shown a lot, but like, I think he can be better than that.
I think I'd be comfortable with C if we're gonna just be like, look, this might not work out. It might work out. I don't know. He's not as strong.
There's more you can do with Kross, I feel like, than Jinder. I feel like he's someone that you can mold and actually build around.
What about Umas?
It's weird, really weird, because he's like his in-ring ability is F, but he's just got soes and he's actually got a decent amount of charisma.
I put him in D.
Yeah, I think D as well. Bizarre. That's only come in the last, like that. It's grown in the last couple of months. Realistically, he's gone from clear F to maybe he's an E, and now he's feel like okay, he's a D because he fucking beat up Bobby Lashley. I would say, let's go New Day. Let's see what we can do with these guys. I think they're all three of them are at least B.
They could all three be Bs. I mean, if you want to make the argument, you can say Kofi is the A and the other two are Bs.
I'd say what? Well, there's argument that the E is the big E is the A.
There is.
And there's the argument also that Xavier Woods is actually the best wrestler out of the three of them.
You know what? This is a real tough one because it's like, all right, obviously, if we could package them up, they're S tier. Because just the New Day as a team is S tier. Individually, they range between A and B. Because, like, Xavier, they never really push all that well, but Xavier is just underrated as fuck. Like, I don't know why they haven't pushed that guy more. Big E's Mr. Money in the Bank. Kofi Kingston's a former WWE champion. I kind of want to put them all in A.
I think that considering the people that we have got in B and the people that we have got in A, I would say that Kofi and Big E are A's and Woods is a very high B.
I could see that. I think that's a fair assessment.
I would love for Woods to win a more prominent title and then maybe move up into the A side of things, but I think right now I'd position him in B.
Here's a couple of C's.
Mm-hmm.
Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode.
I'm so comfortable with that, yes.
Yeah.
Because, man.
I mean, I would even make the argument that Roode could potentially even go into D.
He could potentially go in D. He sucks lately.
Let me just say, I'm totally cool with One Day Beer Money having a farewell run in AEW.
Yeah.
WWE shit the bed with Bobby Roode, and I hate it so much.
They took a guy that they could have put on the main roster and immediately given a world championship to, and they did fuck all with him. I don't understand it.
Face. Fucking coming in. Fucking ridiculous.
What a waste. And it's not entirely his fault, too. That's the thing. Like, I don't want anybody thinking that we're crapping on him. No, we're saying the opposite. We're saying Robert Roode's way better than this. But Robert Roode in WWE is not Robert Roode when he was leaving Impact.
You say you had another C?
I did have somebody in mind. Rick Boogs.
No.
I think he's already at like a C.
I mean, he's getting wins. He looks decent, but he's in tag team matches. I mean, he did face Ziggler recently, so I'm honestly in the no opinion train at the moment for him. My knowledge of him is these couple of matches that he's had on SmackDown recently and matches a couple of years ago in NXT.
That's true. That's fair to put him in no opinion. It is pretty
fair enough sample
quick.
Size yet.
Rick Boogs.
Well, should we just put Roman in S2?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah, because Roman is probably the king of the S tier right now. So
can we just put Baron Corbin in S tier too?
No, we can't. But we can put. But Tony, you're going to enjoy this. Put him in D tier, please.
Yeah,
I think he is wildly underrated for his in-ring work to a degree that he has some very innovative offense, and his character work has come on leaps and bounds in the last couple of months to the point where I would be, yeah, fucking give him an Intercontinental title. I don't care. Like, you can do it.
I'm not going to push my luck and argue for A.
No, you're not going to push your luck and argue for
but
A.
I'm very glad that people are coming a little bit more on board of the Baron Corbin train that I've been on since.
As long as he's not pushed like super prominently in the main event and he's only limited to like one segment a show, then he's totally fine. He's like better than fine. He's good. Just my period of hating him was due to the fact that like he was general manager of Raw and basically in every other segment.
I'm sure it makes him
I just want to go ahead and say right now, there's only one more person I'd put in S, and I'm sure Callum's going to disagree, but Randy's got to be in there. Randy doesn't waver.
I'd go S tier for Randy. I think that he's reached that level of just like pure legend status.
Because the only other person I'd put in there maybe is Ray, and I think the argument can be made that Ray isn't doing S tier level work in 2021.
Well, I would put AJ Styles in S tier.
I hear that.
I know I'd put Drew McIntyre in S tier.
I wouldn't.
Well, where do we stand on Styles?
He's got S tier ability.
Yeah, he's got S tier ability, but he's positioned now as he's basically a Must's feeder guy. He's the guy that has to take pins because the Must can't. So
yeah, but I think it's just an abnormality kind of thing.
In my company, he would be positioned very near the top. So yeah, I'd say S tier would be a good fit.
We know he's better than that. He's multi-time champion. He held the title for longer than almost anybody. That kind of deal. Who was the other person that was just brought up? Was it Rey Mysterio? Rey Mysterio and Drew McIntyre were both brought up.
Ray, I'd say, is B right now.
See? I can't.
He's like on the Jeff Hardy level at this point.
I can't put Drew in S. He's A tier.
I'd go B for Ray, and I'd go A for Drew. Yeah. Because Drew, not quite on that S tier type of thing. But he might get there. He might get there pretty soon, even. But I think he needs something else. Losing to Sheamus for any United States title thing going on right now. Maybe that's just kind of hindering me a little bit. But,
well, speaking of that, Sheamus.
Yeah, A tier.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yep.
He's been so good recently.
Drew Gulak. Where do we go with Gulak? C?
C.
D?
I like C. You saying D?
I said D.
Oh, D. I like you to see that. Again, I'm letting a bit more like just bias of where I would position him. He's a really good hand.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Gulak is somebody that I don't know why they don't use more of him. He's proven himself in the ring. He's proven himself as a heel and as a babyface. He's fun.
Yeah.
He should be a thing. He should be in fucking NXT right now doing some great shit. I don't know why they don't have him in there. I don't know why they have to just running around a little bit once in a while for the 24/7 title.
I'd say it's like, I know they're doing the thing with like Daniel Garcia and 2.0 in AEW. He'd be perfect as like the third man in 2.0.
Yeah.
He'd be perfect in a lot of roles. I really hope that they give him one of the primary training roles in the future. Like, 10 years from now or whatever, he wants to hang up the boots. I want Drew Gulak in that performance center training people. He's fucking great.
Interesting names there.
Where do we go with Cedric?
D.
C.
I'd go towards C. Cedric is way better than what he's been able to do. And when he eventually goes to AEW, which we know is happening, it's guaranteed to happen, he's going to be better off in AEW.
I think he showed enough personality as well when he was in the Hurt Business.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of the Hurt Business, where do you want to put Shelton? I think he's C. But again, if we're putting Hardy in C territory and he's been booked worse than Hardy, maybe he's a D.
Well, Hardy's in B.
Hardy's in D. I'd still put Shelton in D though, just because it's the age factor more than anything else. Yeah. I
think I'd go D too, just because we know he's better than that, but at the same time, they don't seem to.
Yeah, and I wouldn't push him super hard. Nakamura's
B.
B.
Yeah, I'd say at the moment.
There were times where I'd put him in A, and there's times where I'd put him in E. Yeah. But right now he's currently B.
He's showing a lot of consistency at the moment, yeah. I would say both Usos are Bs.
Yeah.
I think even individually, I know it's the idea that as a tag team they'd probably be S and stuff like that, but I feel like, especially Jay's shown a lot of ability as the singles as well.
Yeah, and if we've got Xavier Woods in there, that makes sense.
People...
MVP.
As a wrestler?
See?
Probably D. Probably D at this point. I don't think he's as good. He's definitely worse than Shelton is at this point in his wrestling career. I just as a manager, top tier, but it's just like he's not a consistent worker anymore.
I can see that. I'm cool with putting him in the D tier. It's weird. We're getting more Ds than we are in Cs. We might have to balance it out a little bit.
We could switch a few around. I mean, there's certain ones that we might end up moving over. But,
we still got some names, so I'm sure it'll even out.
Yeah.
Angel Garza.
Oh, okay. We'll go Angel Garza and then Apollo Crews. Angel Garza C. Apollo Crews C actually as well probably.
I'd almost go D for Garza and C for Crews. Crews.
Where do we put Carrillo?
Carrillo's in E.
Okay, so he's a step above Carrillo.
Yeah, maybe D for Garza at the moment
because he's better than this.
Yeah. I think like there was a point where I thought like he could really push on to be in like the B or A range, but they really dropped the ball with him as well.
Actually, the fact that we are needing some more C's, I'd go C for Garza.
Yeah, and Apollo fits in nicely on the C side as well. There's even an argument to say that he could be in D. But
I was thinking kind of B.
Actually,
we got Montez.
Yeah, he's gone better.
And we got like Nakamura. I think that Cruz is on par with Nakamura.
Yeah.
I think he's better off than Garza. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, let's add a few A's in then to even it out. So Seth Rollins is an A.
There is actually that whole SmackDown list of guys.
Yeah, actually they are all A's, I think.
Probably all A.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not as high on Rollins, but I can't really put him in B. And yeah, because none of these guys really qualify for S tier. Owens used to be S tier, but man, he's going to be S tier again in, 90 days after January.
Quick question. Where's Edge?
Oh, that's right, because he's not a full-on roster member, so I didn't add him into the mix, but we definitely should put him in here. I'd go S.
Yeah, I'd say S as well.
Yeah.
He just gets it. So it's like
he's still Edge.
Got so much experience. Yeah. Just a slightly slower Edge, but he's still fine. And
in some ways, better wrestler than he was before because he's learned more. But yeah, again, if you could put his brain in his younger body, goddamn man. Yeah. Which is what we're gonna do when we start getting into the whole mock draft all-time roster type thing.
The all-time roster thing.
That's gonna be a lot of debates about well, you mean to tell me that Mr. Perfect at this point isn't the same on par with whatever like that? That'll be, man, I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
So we got some good people here. Actually, I am a big fan of all of them.
They're all good people. Well,
to varying degrees, of course, though, because somebody like an R-Truth is not the type of person.
You know which one I'm about to point down, Rob, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But, yeah, R-Truth, I'd say...
I'd put him at B.
It's weird.
Nah, C has to be just because of the age and the fact that he doesn't really wrestle that much anymore.
There's an argument to be made that as a character, he's an ass.
Right.
Yeah, R-Truth is so much fun. I'd put him in C.
Yeah, I'd say
so. Ricochet has been doing not much.
He's a C. He's middle of the road as it gets.
I want to put him in B, but
I would want to put him there. He's too bland, I feel.
Yeah, they kind of trot him out once every 4 weeks to get a push for 2 weeks, and then he disappears. So it's how do you really sink your teeth in that compared to even somebody like an Apollo Crews who they gave an Intercontinental Championship to for months? They don't seem to want to do that with Ricochet. So I'd go pretty high for Damon Priest right now, to be honest. I'm really liking Priest.
He's a B or A.
B at the lowest.
B's at the lowest, yeah. It's either B or A, but I'm trying to think, would I put him ahead of...
I think I'd go B because I think I'd put him on par with Kyle O'Reilly. He's more dynamic, for sure.
He's on the trajectory to be an A soon, but I'd say right now he's B.
B+.
Yep. Keith Lee, I'd say it's weird. He's a B. And it's hard, because I really, really like him. Yeah, I really, really like him. And so if it's my company, he's an A, and maybe that's the thing that should sway it maybe a bit towards an A.
I don't know if I'd go more that he's an A- or that he's a why the hell is he a B+. You know what I mean? Because he should be a solid A. This guy is just they're wasting him. I think I'd probably, just for my own personal preferences, I'd probably go A. Because I do want to kind of push him a little bit more.
We value him more than the company does, so. And I would like him to be joined by Matt Riddle, because Matt Riddle is awesome.
Oh, he's definitely an A. Matt Riddle's been doing some fucking great stuff. And he's working his way in that Shawn Michaels kind of range where it's if something doesn't get messed up, Matt Riddle's winning that championship. Hell, it could even be a WrestleMania. You never know.
Right.
I don't think it will be, but it could happen.
And
Miz and Morrison.
We're staring down the barrel of 2 C's right here.
Wow, we left with Miz and Morrison, huh?
I would go... If we were to go throughout their whole careers, I would end up saying that The Miz would be an A, But I think that right now they're both B.
No, they're both C.
It's up to you, Rob.
Morrison's a jobber a jobber for the most part right now, and The Miz has never been a good enough wrestler to justify being above a C.
Your call, Rob. It's 2 Bs and 2 Cs.
And I honestly want to split the difference, put Miz in B and Morrison in C.
Oh, that's so painful, Rob. You chose the wrong one to put in B as well.
No, because I don't like this fucking drip thing that they're doing with him. I don't like it. I don't
like anything that Miz has done since 2011, but still he's like
I grant you that. But like one of those two was going to carry a verbal feud with a celebrity to WrestleMania, and it wasn't Morrison.
Look at that, the bell curve work.
It pains me that you put Miz in B and you've left Dolph Ziggler in C. How dare you? You call yourself a Dolph Ziggler fan?
I mean, you've seen my. Where do we leave Ziggler?
See.
You know, actually, the man.
No, he's not moving to B either. You're not getting both.
No, the man makes a good argument. I do consider Miz and Ziggler on the same tier, so maybe we got to move Miz. Yeah, move Miz to C.
Yeah, I knew I'd get it eventually.
If I cared more, I'd argue more. try to win Rob over, but
I know, but it's just I can't help it. I just hate.
I do think it's a shame because I remember a time when I was like, there's still hope for Ziggler. Ziggler's an A. There's still hope for Miz.
Here's the argument I would make to try to win Rob over. I think we have a little bit too much D compared to B, and if we were going to move some C over and then move some D over to C, I think it would make sense to move Morrison and Miz over to B and then move somebody over from D.
I don't like them. I don't like the pairing that much.
I mean, if there were people in C that you think should move up to B, who would it be?
Honestly, given the lay of the land, it would be the three we just talked about for their history. It would be Ziggler, Miz, and Morrison just for their whole career, taking that into account.
Those would be the ones that I would think would be in discussion.
Those four.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I look less about just past legacy and look more towards potential. And in which case, I would be looking at... which ones would I actually be looking at for potential? Maybe even not that, maybe just pure wrestling ability at this point. And if it's pure wrestling ability, I'd be looking at people like Eichner, Bartel, Lorcan.
Ricochet, maybe.
But if it's my company, Ricochet's probably a B tier, more character.
Thatcher, maybe.
Yeah, for wrestling ability, maybe. It's just a case of like... LA Knight maybe is a talker, but Chad Gable, we know how good he can be.
I'd be cool with moving Thatcher over to B if you guys think about that. We were kind of talking about that earlier.
I mean, last time I made a call for potential, I took Bronson Reed, and that didn't work out for me, so I'm not talking about potential.
Oh, it worked out perfectly great until a couple weeks later.
I mean, I'm happy moving Thatcher definitely into B. Out of these ones, I like him the most, probably. Looking at other ones now, I mean, if you guys want to move The Miz, I'm not going to like go into a super massive argument about it, but like I just don't think he's a good enough worker to move on it. But I know how good of a personality he can be.
If you move Miz, I think you got to move Dolph.
I'm not moving Dolph. You're not getting both.
I would lean more towards Miz than Dolph because I think at least
I draw the line somewhere.
Dolph's the better worker. Miz is far more prominent of a character. Like, not even in comparison. Dolph shows up and just wrestles and loses. Whereas Miz, Dolph even if he's not wrestling and doing anything like that, he's still carrying feuds.
Dolph's just a straight tag guy now.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I would say move Miz over and then potentially move somebody from D over to C.
Okay. So put the Miz there. I don't like it, but it's not good. I'm not gonna.
If I had to move from D to C,
let's have a look. I would say the ones that stick out at the moment to me are not Otis and not Jinder. No, Just they're not good. They're not good enough in the ring. Otis maybe. Jinder's not.
It would be maybe. I'd make an argument for Shelton.
Shelton's an argument. I would say maybe Flash and Mark Andrews.
I think there's Shelton. There's
Wilder Mendoza.
Jinder and Otis. There's Drake Maverick.
No.
There's Shelton, and that's the only one I see.
Wow, that took me by surprise. Did not plan on seizing right then. I couldn't beat my microphone.
All this assignment, like it's school. All this little experiment has done is make me go, wow, this roster actually isn't that star-studded as I once believed it was.
It's almost like they had a bunch of people and they decided that they wanted to get rid of them. Yeah, the roster does not look as healthy as it did last year. That's for sure.
It does not.
Can't wait to do the AEW one and just like, fucking hell, this place looks great.
When we do this, it's going to be wildly different because we're going to be into like, how do we rank some of these people? Because they've got some massive names now.
Yeah. I'd say looking at the D side, the ones that stand out most to me are Shelton, as Rob said. I feel like that's worthwhile discussing. And then it was just a mixture of Morgan Webster and Andrew, just because I like the stuff they did in the past, and then maybe Wild and Mendoza, but I wouldn't say Drake Maverick because he's not a good enough wrestler. I wouldn't say Jinder because he's not a good enough wrestler. Maybe Otis.
I think Otis and Shelton make sense, and then that bit really pretty much balances it out. We all kind of are in agreement about Shelton, so whatever. I mean, I guess we could probably move one other person and really balance it out even more. But
I feel bad slightly, and I know we don't want to extend it out too much longer, but like I feel bad that the F tier is just consists of Titus O'Neil, Shanky, and Veer.
Who you think would potentially move over there? Move somebody from. I wouldn't go F. I wouldn't go F for Wolfgang.
I wouldn't go. I mean, like I'd feel more comfortable taking those guys out of F and putting them in E than I would trying to figure out who we should put in F with them.
Well, okay. Hear me out on this one. Jackson Riker's an F tier human being.
Correct. But then I would feel like, in order to balance that, we have to move Titus out because Titus is like an
F tier human being. Well, that's why I feel sad about Titus O'Neil being there. But then I'd feel bad that Shanky and Veer are both in there.
But then Titus, really, the in-ring work and the character work, his character's not even existent. He never wrestles, and when he does, he's the lowest of the low on the totem pole. Like, Titus is a great human being, and if this was ranking people based off of like their charity work and stuff, he's S tier.
He's S tier.
But character-wise, you take that, like if you put your blinders on and you're somebody watching the show and you don't pay any attention to anything behind the scenes, Titus is definitely F tier.
No, I guess so. It just feels like it's a bit like super harsh to only have that number of people in there. Just look at E tier quickly. Again, just a quick thing, and just say who's the worst wrestler on E tier. I know who my pick is.
Joseph Connors, and I don't really know much about him.
I would probably... I don't remember a damn thing about the offense from T-Bone and Primate. And there's not much going on there for Ashton Smith. I don't remember anything really from Riddick Moss. Jack Stars, I don't really know anything about. Like, I've seen enough of his matches, but I can't tell you a damn move that he does. I tell you who wouldn't be. Like, if, that I wouldn't go under F tier. Wouldn't be Slapjack. I wouldn't go F for Wolfgang. I wouldn't go F for Connors. I wouldn't go F for Huxley. I wouldn't go F for Elias. And even though I think that Carrillo is disappointing in a lot of ways, I wouldn't go F for Carrillo.
Like I said, I'd feel more comfortable just saying F is too hard. I'd rather leave that empty and move the 3 over to E.
We didn't leave it empty for the women.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
I know the women was Eva Marie and Nia Jax.
I attempted to. I just want to put that out there. I did attempt to.
And I feel like it's a curve thing though. Just a case of like people that are just significantly worse. And my argument would be,
if you're telling me to move somebody over, I'm moving Jackson Riker, I'm moving Wolfgang, and I'm moving. I would honestly say I don't know much about Riddick Moss, and he's been there for a while. So,
well, my argument would be, like, if it was only moving one person, is that if he didn't have the last name Mysterio, Dominic would be F tier. He's the worst wrestler out of those ones.
There's kind of an argument. He's not bad in some ways.
But he's got very little personality. He does botch quite a bit in some of these matches, and he does look like very
hesitant to move and stuff.
Yeah, hesitant, and he's like scripting things in his head as he does stuff. If there's a real says that we just want to stick with those three in the end of it, I just thought it was harsh to have those three on their own in it. But I also feel like we need to have people in F tier, otherwise there's no point in having an F tier.
Yeah.
So it's up to you guys. My choice would be Dominic to move to F tier.
I would put Jackson Riker.
I mean, I'd be happy with both, but it's like
we could do both.
If we were to do that, this is what the curve would look like.
I think it's slightly better because obviously the S tier's got 6 in it. It just felt weird to have 3.
Which the E and the A,
they're pretty
bounced out a little bit more. I don't know. Good enough, right?
Yeah, it's just a case that, I know it could have just left it as is, but I just felt like Titus O'Neil, Shanky and Veer, it just felt, okay, they're definitely some of the worst wrestlers on the roster, but there are other people that are in that boat as well.
You heard it here first. Callum Wiggins wants Shanky in the Hall of Fame.
Shanky Mania, it's running wild.
Yeah, Shanky Mania.
All right, well, any other adjustments you think that we should make?
Shanky.
Shanky.
It's a lovely. No, I feel like we're good now.
What's better, Bobby Shanky or Shanky Lashley?
Bobby Shanky.
Yeah, Bobby Shanky. Yeah,
Bobby Shanky was the one I'm thinking too.
Let's go, Shanky. Shanky sucks. Yeah, so you can do it.
It's a good name.
It is kind of
Shanky's gonna kill you.
As far as putting Shanky on the F tier, what has he done so far? He's taken 20-something chair shots twice. That's really all he's done.
Yeah, deserves it. I'm saying that maybe you should move him to E tier. No,
didn't I have him on the E tier originally?
Yeah, we put both in the E tier, and then I said, why the fuck are they in the E tier? Just he should come out with a he could be a hit TikTok star if they decide to pull out the Shanky leg.
Oh my god.
Do the Shanky leg.
Now hear me out here. We take everybody out of the F tier except for Jackson Riker. We leave Jackson Riker in the F tier.
I don't think that we're ranking it based off of tweets entirely.
Yeah, if we're ranking it based on those personal opinions and stuff like that, then we can. I mean, Sami Zayn would be in an S tier pretty much on his own.
Right, yeah.
It's just
Kevin Owens would be an S tier guy. Kofi Kingston, a lot of people.
And
would
then,
be
the New Day, Sami, Kevin, and Titus O'Neil.
It's a good looking list. It really feels like. I mean, look at our S tier. Yeah. What happened?
It does feel really weak. Like when John Cena's no longer around, when Triple H and the Undertaker are no longer around.
No Undertaker, no
Kane, no
Brock, no. Because I guess we could put Brock in here because he's back.
Yeah, and he'd be S tier.
So let's go ahead and just put him on there, even though it's he's a bit person here and there or whatever, but man, this fucking roster just earlier this year we would have had Braun in the mix, we would have had Bray in the mix, we would have had Cole, Bryan, and those alone, just that, you're adding more people to the S and the A and the B, and
Yes,
but I guess we've got
There's so much less star power than it used to be.
We got some football players that they signed. Let's see how it works. I don't know. It is what it is, right? So it's interesting to look back and to see what we did last year, where we thought that we had a huge amount of people taken out of the mix, and then 9 sets of releases later on, we're still kind of feeling the effects.
I mean, because we don't even have Wyatt, and we all have a certain opinion of Bray Wyatt, but he's a main event guy. We don't even have Strowman in there. I just feel like this showed me how many people we've really lost.
Yeah, I'm actually just looking at the 5-figure, and I would discuss it now, but I'm looking at the tier list from last year, who we had there. It's interesting.
Who was the S tier last year?
The S tier last year was AJ Styles, John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, and Keith Lee.
So a couple of adjustments. Owens and Keith Lee going down.
Yeah, we still had Adam Cole in main event. We still had Drew McIntyre in the main event. A tier. We still had Strowman in the A tier. Balor in the A tier. Ed was in the A tier at this point. Lashley was still in the A tier. Rollins, Walter, stuff like that. So it actually hasn't changed dramatically in terms of who's involved in those 2 tiers. But it's just it is interesting though. Where do we have Gargano? I can't even see where Gargano was. Oh yeah, he was in the A tier at that point. So.
Alrighty, well that's our list. Make sure that you drop your comments below. Tell us your thoughts on where you would place these people, whether you agree or you disagree. Explain why too. I'm really curious if somebody's just I really would have put Ridge Holland higher, or say if you rank you're super down on Sheamus. I don't know. But whatever it is, let us know and keep the discussion going, and we will be responding and checking out what you got to say and everything. Hit that like button too, and stay tuned for whatever is happening next. At least for this week, the game plan is that you'll be hearing the hot tags next, and we'll be running down some of the stories that have happened over the past couple of days, including something that happened while we were recording this, of Triple H having his heart attack or his heart surgery or whatever it was. I haven't read the reports yet. What was it?
It's a heart procedure after a cardiac event.
Yeah, so that type of it's not a hospital, it's a medical facility. It's not a
they were very clear to use a broad term.
That kind of deal. So maybe we'll have more information by then, and we'll run down the TV stuff for the week, and we'll talk about whatever else that we are going to be talking about on the hot tags. So stay tuned for that. Make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure you ring that little notification bell as well. Check out the channel update that I posted. At this point, it'll be 2 days ago or yesterday. I don't know. Math, numbers, calendars, whatever it is. I had a channel update, fills you out on the some of the other things that are happening over the course of the next couple of weeks and such. But that's all over on the Smark Out Moment things. You can follow everything at Smark Out Moment. Check out fanboysanonymous.com for everything that's happening there too. We got more movie reviews coming your way. I'm sure there's going to be another instance where in the middle of the night, I'll probably end up messaging Rob and just kind of being like, fan tracks for something sort of random. I don't know, like that kind of deal. It kind of depends on our schedules and everything. But we've had some stuff, a lot more content than we ever had before. There's been more Fanboys Anonymous content from January till now than probably the prior 3 years combined. It's been a lot of fun doing a lot of the James Bond stuff, which that movie's coming out soon. Knock on wood that they don't delay it again, because my God, it's been 8 years since that movie was supposed to come out. But that stuff you'll find over on the Blue Brand. Check that out. Subscribe, follow, like, share, favorite, all that good stuff. Follow me at Tony Mango. Follow Rob over there all over the place at Dude Felice.
Yep, and you can check out Twitter, Instagram, everywhere at Dude Felice, and check out Fightful Select for all the updated news regarding contracts, anything really in the world of backstage news and wrestling. Sean Ross Sapp has you covered, so check that out. And I pass you over to Callum.
Yep, you can find me on Twitter at Wigmeister14. Check out all the stuff on Smark Out Moment, but especially the power rankings if you're only dipping in for a little while. Check out who's like top of the tree right now, who's right at the bottom end of the top 10. But yeah, check out all that stuff there. And yeah, if you're interested in just listening to some retro wrestling content, then there's always 2001 A Wrestling Odyssey and the Paul Heyman's SmackDown podcast over in the archives.
Alrighty, everybody, that is it for this edition. Thank you for checking out the tier list stuff for WWE. Next week, at least our current game plan, is to do the men and the women over from the AEW roster and to give you our updated tier list for that, because it's close to a year since we had done that before. We did it around the October year-long anniversary kind of deal with that, so it's a couple of weeks ahead of time. But hey, when you're bringing in CM Punk and Malachi Black and Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole and all these other names, it's worth talking about the roster a little bit sooner, and it just works out with schedules and stuff like that too. So if you're digging the tier list stuff, check back on the previous ones and stay tuned for those coming up in the next week. But for now, this is going to do us in. Thank you again one more time just for tuning in, and we will see you next time. This has been another Smark Out moment, and we're being counted out.